Next, the category that we're going to discuss this episode is a film review that we both got to check out. Unfortunately, it was Madam Web. Now, we both thought this movie was going to be bad before it ever came out. Let's be honest here. No one actually went into this film expecting something good.
No.
But I'm going to let you take it away to start because you saw this before I did. So you told me like what I was to expect. So when you went in blind, what did you like? What was it like?
Okay. Yeah, I'm like laughing, crying already. Look, I'm just gonna start off it by saying this. This absolutely needs to be watched in a theater just because it's one of those things that you have to literally witness it. Like and I hate doing this to movies. Like I want to preface this before we start. Making a movie is very hard. I get that. There's a lot of things you got to go through to make a movie. We're not as blessed. People are blessed to make movies every day. Got yada yada yada. Like, yeah, it's a craft. Film's subjective. I want to get that out of the way. Um, with that out of the way, the fact that this went through multiple studio head bodies, multiple editors, multiple writers, multiple VFX workers, and they saw what they gave us in theaters and said, you know what? That looks 100% to me. Let's ship that out to the good old theaters. And it makes no damn sense to me. And I'll get more into that. One, I personally believe this might be different for Mitchell. I can't really judge the performances because of how bad the script was. There is literally nothing to work off of here. Dakota Johnson, when she's funny, she has really good dry humor. I'll give her that. There's some joke in here that I laughed at. I was like, yeah, that was a fun delivery. Good for her. I still don't have a judgment on Sydney Sweeney yet.
That's fair.
She's great in Euphoria. She really is. Like, I think she's incredible in that. But like the other stuff I've seen her in, I literally can't get a gauge on because it's either been not her or it's just been like bad around her, and I just haven't been able to get a read on her yet. But like overall, fine. Like very not memorable. This whole movie's not. But like, yeah. The characters I cannot like. The performances are fine for what the characters are given to work with. Again, script god awful. This is the worst paced superhero movie I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Like by the time I realized it got to like the third act was like starting, I checked my phone. I'm not ashamed to admit this, and I was like, oh, okay, there's 15 minutes left in this movie from the math that I did. How does that make sense? Because yeah, just that the whole middle is weird, so weird. Um, the ADR is astounding. Because I guess they just didn't want to use the Tahar Tahim's real voice, even though I think he's, besides this, really good at acting. Going to throw that out there. Yeah, this movie just makes me freaking angry, and I don't get it. The VFX is horrific, to say the least. This was okay. Yeah, this is one I'll harp on till I die. This has got to be the worst edited movie I've ever seen. A movie like put out, distributed in a movie in my life, in a movie theater. Like I've watched some like straight to DVD or streaming shit that's bad, but like for a major release for a comic book movie from Sony, I was like, dude, you're giving me whiplash. Like you're literally like, I don't know what's going on. Dudes are appearing everywhere. There's voices talking. There's no one in frame. There's a lot. Um, and I really hate to, again, I'm going to end it with, I hate to do this about movies, but I think while making a movie is hard, yes, you also still need to be held accountable for what you were trying to do. And at the end of the day, a movie is just supposed to entertain and you're supposed to like have the audience have a good time. And I just don't understand how people watch this and put it out thinking that was the case. That was a very long rant of mine. I apologize. But when I see movies that are like this bad, it makes me like pissed off because like I just don't understand how you can get a movie to this point and release it. But yeah, that is my big takeaways. I gave it a 20 out of 100. 1 star. Also, the one last thing before I'll hand it over. This was so supposed to be in the 90s, and they definitely switched it to 2003 without my knowledge. I don't remember when they did that because some of the stuff is like in Times Square is weird, and the songs that they chose, they have no right being in this movie if your movie's going to be this bad. That's my mic drop. I'll end it. Thank you. Yeah, 20 out of 100.
Yeah.
I saw this
So
in
you.
IMAX, by the way. Like, one impressed with that. Saw this in the biggest screen I could possibly see. Does not need to be, but go watch it in a theater. I implore you to. Like, it just needs to be watched to understand. So,
Yeah. So when you told me it was bad and you said, "Oh, we got a review on the podcast," and I will tell everyone that I was dragging my feet to see this
yeah,
movie.
I had
I
to
was
I
like,
had forced Mitchell to watch this because
yeah,
I
he
needed
he
to
kind
talk
of
about
did.
this.
Yeah. So I went into it with not a good mind space already, but it was just like bad. And that's why I rated a 15 out of 100, 5 points lower than Jacob, just because I hated it so much and I was already pissed off at it in general. But like
Yeah,
this movie did nothing for me.
no.
Um, it's just so it doesn't function as a movie. Like it doesn't function as a so bad it's good movie because that's the campaign Sony's going for. Because now they want to go like
That's more
backtrack
common.
and they're like, oh, it's so bad you have to go see it. But no, it's not. It's just terrible, and it's one of the worst movies I've probably ever seen. And I've never seen actors on screen floundering for support more than here. Like no one is helping them. The script is letting them down. Direction is awful. The cinematography and editing are terrible. And it's such a bad plot. And like I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but like I don't understand how this is even a superhero movie
It's a
at all.
origin story. That's what
That's
I like to describe it as.
yeah,
You have
I can
4
see that.
people with don't have superpowers fighting a guy that has superpowers.
Yeah. I don't know. It was
That's
just
another thing.
off. Yeah. It was just off. I did not like it at all. I like Dakota Johnson in most things, but here she was just like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I don't think it's going to get any lower than this year. Honestly, I think that's going to stay at my
Hey,
number at my
Winnie
bottom
Winnie the
spot.
Pooh, Blood and
I'm not
Honey
even seeing
2,
that. I am
September.
refusing to see that. I am not seeing that.
Oh,
Um,
also, the fact that we got like maybe max two goddamn minutes in their spider suits is
yes,
outrageous.
that's
Because
crazy.
it's not even a spoiler at this point. Like it's not. What you have seen in the trailer that you probably watched 15 million times is all you get.
Yeah,
That's it. And I
yeah,
don't care telling you that. I think it deserved to be known. If you think you're going to go in there seeing them fight in those costumes, you don't. Well,
yeah,
like you do for like 15 seconds, but not like what you think you should get at all. You don't. So if that hinders it, sorry. There's costumes for maybe 5 minutes, and it's not even comic book. Half of it's not even comic book accurate. I'm
yeah.
being a little nerdy nitpicky there, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's I want to go back to quality over quantity. Bad. I
Yeah,
really do.
I do too. Um, but we'll see. Deadpool's gonna bring Marvel. I know this isn't technically a Marvel movie or whatever they want to term it, but again, they're making Venom 3 in this universe, which is crazy to me. Venom's at least
Also,
decent.
is this Peter Parker supposed to be Andrew Garfield?
I don't know. I didn't even
Because
know about that.
if so, that means according to like the timeline, the Amazing Spider-Man came out like 2014. He'd be like 11.
Yeah. That whole
What
angle
was
to
more
this
confusing?
movie, yeah. That whole angle to this movie trying to tie it into Spider-Man actually broke me because it's just like so dumb. And they don't even name drop him either. They're so afraid to
No, they're
say his
like
actual name.
Ryan, Ben,
Yeah. It's
Jacob.
so dumb. So dumb. That's my rant about Madam Web. That was one of the most excruciating movies experiences I've ever had.
With
Again,
great
15 out of
power comes
100,
great responsibility.
20 out of 100. I think all across the board, we can both agree that was terrible. And we would probably not recommend, I mean, you'd think people should go see it in theaters because of the
Look,
experience. But
yeah,
like,
like I'm gonna agree. Like, look, I'm gonna be so real. Like, if you you got like 3 buddies, you know, had a good time before you went and saw it, and then watched it. I just think like like you said, I don't agree that it's so bad it's good, but my buddies would get like find this hilarious. Like I
Yeah.
think it would be so like funny to watch this with a group of people.
Yeah.
And I guess like in the context, don't spend your money on it now. Wait till it drops on like VOD or streaming or VOD for like $12 because if
Yeah.
they make you pay 20, that's crazy. But like when this gets on a streaming service, I would not be shocked if like this is like
Popular.
doing numbers.
Yeah.
Like not even popular, just doing numbers for the fact of like, oh, I can finally watch that. Let's see how this is.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, god awful movie. The Sony universe of Marvel characters, whatever, however you say it, needs to be abolished immediately. And Kevin Feige needs to stop.
He needs to stop. I agree with that.